Hi, all my lovely Geminis, and welcome to the Gemini August through September 2021 Love Connection reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren. Hi, and welcome. So this is one of 3 connection readings I complete for each sign each month, unless I'm behind like I was this month. But the energies here in this reading are meant to carry over into the month of September. So this reading specifically takes a look at the general energies of love, as well as romantic love. This reading will also be utilizing the Triad of Engagement, which is a coaching tool I've developed that focuses on showing the importance of working with the 3 basic principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, and how when you use them together, they can help unlock your own awareness of your internal, unique, authentic self, as well as how that connects to your external environment so you can better experience your spiritual purpose. All right, so Gemini, let's get right into your reading. So we're going to start by pulling a card here that will focus on the principle of curiosity. So we're going to build out a question around the energies of this card to help, because this is a general reading. This is going to help bring the message back to you specifically so that you can ask yourself this question and then answer it on an individual basis. So we have vulnerability. And it says, this is confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory, where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. Love this card. I think this is a card, especially when we're talking about the energies of love, that we so often can find difficult. So when we're thinking about love is a give and take energy field. It is, in order for us to feel inflow and not blocked, we have to be able to give love and support to others and to our external environment. We have to be able to receive love and support from others. And this often means that we have to become vulnerable. We have to be able to show ourselves at our very basic core of who we are to other people so that they can love us. Not the mask that we put out to the world, but love who we are in that internal, authentic version of ourselves. And that can be scary. I mean, when you look at this image, there's all this kind of like shadowy kind of stick stuff, and yet inside is that beautiful green leaf. And that's really what love is about. Love is that energy of, it comes from us understanding that we are loved from the divine, that we each are a singularity, that we are each important, that we each have a spiritual purpose, a place in the puzzle, so to speak. And in order for us to share this unique, internal, authentic self with others, we have to be able to make ourselves vulnerable. We have to be able to allow others to see that beautiful leaf and to not be afraid that by sharing that it could possibly harm that part of ourselves. Because that part of ourselves, just like you see here, is protected by spirit. It's that part of ourself that's meant to be seen, and so it is something that can actually never be taken from us. So the question I would ask Gemini for the month of August moving into September is, where have you, and I like how it really talks about here, this is confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. There's a component here of being able to step into your feelings. And Gemini, you guys are a sign ruled by Mercury. So there's a quality to you where you tend to be in your head a lot. You think a lot, you speak a lot, but sometimes you don't feel a lot. You don't bring it back to this beautiful little leaf in the core of who you are. And that's partly directly tapped in. That part of you is directly tapped into your intuition, and thereby through your into your emotions. So there is this quality here of asking yourself that question of, where perhaps have you been trying to rationalize something and not feel it? And where do you feel right now that you are kind of treading in unknown territory? Could this be, and now we're talking about love and interpersonal connection. This can be with a significant other. This can be with a family member. This can be in a work environment, because love does extend to our work family and to also how we give and receive energy in our work environment. But there's this element here of where have you been treading into the unknown and been hesitant to fully show who you are. We're going to carry that with us. We're going to take that question, kind of help open up the door to receptivity and curiosity. Now I'm going to pull some cards. Now this is kind of the free form component of this message, where we're going to just kind of see what comes out. This might be a continuation of that message, or this could actually also be showing a specific block between you and an individual. So we'll kind of take what comes out, and then I'll pull some clarifier cards. All right, let's see. What does Gemini need to know for the month of August into September? Let's see here. Anything else for Gemini? Anything else that Gemini needs to know? Beautiful. Okay, Gemini. So we have two cards that came out together. We have the Nine of Pentacles and we have the Five of Swords. Now, right off the bat with these two cards coming up, there's this quality of, I'm getting that you're fighting. There's this element of not wanting to, I think, give in to it's almost, I feel like you're being challenged a little bit with your independence. So the Nine of Pentacles can be a card that signifies, I don't know why I can't talk today. A card that can represent independence. It can represent financial independence because it specifically pertains to the tangible world. It's also one of gratitude, of being grateful for what you have. But there's this element here with the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is kind of the card of winning at all costs. This is a card where you'd be in an argument, and at a certain point, even if you know you're going to go over, overstep boundaries and end up losing friends, you're going to keep fighting. You're going to keep arguing your point. So there's this element here of I feel like with an interpersonal connection, whether this is in love, so this is with a significant other, or this is with a family member, or if this is in the work environment, there's a quality here of not wanting to give up something that you feel is directly tied to your independence. So this could be not wanting to, perhaps if it's in a significant romantic partnership, this would be maybe you guys looking to possibly move in together, and you're fighting that. You're fighting coming together and the compromise that has to come with moving two different people's lives and combining them. Or this could be in the work environment that perhaps you've worked autonomously for quite some time, and now you're being asked to become a part of a team, or to change maybe even perhaps the focus that you've been, maybe that you're asked to give up some aspect of, okay, well, you've always worked in this department or with this, and now we want you over here and on this side of the business. Or if this is family, this could be, maybe this could actually be you maybe having to make the concession to have to move back home with your parents, and it's something where you're trying to fight it, but maybe it's within your best interest. Maybe this is, your parents are offering for you to move home. Maybe you're in debt. This is a great way to save money and get yourself out of debt. And yet you don't want to give up your tie to what you feel is signifies to you your own independence. This could also be trying to focus on maybe building a business for yourself, because you feel like that's, again, your tie to independence that maybe you keep fighting for and maybe isn't within your best interest. So it's very interesting. There's something here about you fighting to maintain some level of independence. Now with that comes up the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, I love the energy of the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is someone who knows where their passions lie. They take action from that place of passion. And there's this quality to the Queen of Wands where it's almost like a magical quality. She understands that she can wield her passions almost like a magic wand, that she can make happen in her life what she chooses to, as long as she takes action from a place of passion. So she's somebody who can, and you see her sitting here with this sunflower in her hand. And in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, it's the queen sitting on her throne in what looks to be like the Egyptian desert, and she is growing sunflowers next to her. And there's this element of her being able to grow what she wants, where she wants it. And then she's also holding the sunflower, showing that she is actually enjoying what she has. She's enjoying the fruits of her efforts, so to speak, but again, really understanding where her passions come from. And so there's this quality here of, with this, that there's some aspect here of wanting to fight to maintain some level of independence that you have had up to this point, or that you feel is tied to how you connect to that feeling of independence. And then there's this Queen of Wands where it's that reminder of, and I get this feeling that this is you guys, that there's this feeling of you can tap into the magic within yourself, that you don't have to fight to maintain this level of independence, because you can you see her here with her grapes and stuff. Well, she can grow the grapes wherever. It doesn't matter if she has to leave her amazing, studio apartment in the city to move back in with her parents. She's still going to be able to create magic for herself, even in that environment. So there's this element here of kind of putting down the sword, so to speak, and realizing and stepping more into this energy here, this energy of, I can create for myself whatever I want in whatever setting. And so that even if I have to, let's say, move in with somebody else and I have to give up a little bit of what I like to do, that technically I can still bring this part of I'm still bringing my passions to the table. I still can take action from that place, and I can take the beautiful sunflowers that I've been able to grow in the desert and bring those with me anywhere. I can make them grow in any garden. So I'm going to pull some clarifier cards just to see if there's any more messages here that want to come out. So I'm going to specifically pull cards, for the Five of Swords. Let's see if anything else wants to come out here for the Five of Swords. Beautiful. And the Queen of Wands. Let's see what else wants to come out for the Queen of Wands here. Any additional messages for the Queen of Wands for Gemini? Any additional messages for the Queen of Wands for Gemini? Any additional messages? Any additional messages? Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right, hold on just a moment. I'll be right back. Thanks, guys. Somebody's at the door. I had to go open it for them. Okay, so jumping back into this. So for the Five of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands and the Star. So what this is showing me is that there's an element here of, so the Seven of Swords is kind of about defending your passion, defending yourself. And so there's this element here of defending, of where you're coming from here, why you're kind of wanting to, fight to maintain this level of independence, is because you're defending your star, you're defending your kind of hope and dream. Each one of us, the star represents our kind of guiding North Star that each one of us has specific to ourselves. No two people's star will ever be the same. And so there's this quality here of really wanting to defend that, and defend it from a place of passion, of this is what, lights my soul on fire. And it's interesting that it's coming up here, though, with the Five of Swords. That's causing you to a little bit to become, the Five of Swords is about fighting on a mental level. So this is an element of wanting to, on a, basically rationalizing to yourself that because this is your passion, this is your star, this is that I can keep fighting. I can keep basically almost like I'm getting a little bit of this feeling of my truth is, more valid than your truth. And that can be kind of a little dangerous, where we each have our own truth, and that truth does stem from the things that are unique to us. So the star, that is unique to us, our guiding hope, our guiding principle. But there is this quality of understanding that each one of us has our own star. Each one of us has this something, passions within us that we want to defend, that we want to live by. But there is this element here of realizing that everybody has their own truth, and that we can't allow that to get in the way of us basically really having these deep interpersonal connections. So when we're kind of taking it back to the first question we're asking ourselves about being vulnerable, that sometimes we think it's a vulnerability to compromise a little bit. So, when we join into a partnership with another, when we combine living experiences, it doesn't mean that one of us has to give up on our star. It doesn't mean that one person has to sacrifice for another. It means that you each bring your own star, and that hopefully you've discussed up to this point where those two stars align together for each one of you. And that your two truths then come together in harmony, so that neither person feels that they're being robbed of their independence, of their autonomy, because we are each unique, internal, individual, singular beings. That we are autonomous individuals, autonomous beings. So there's this element here of really understanding that it's not our truth versus everybody else's truth. It's not us against the world. It's about understanding actually what is our star, where it comes, why we want to defend it, where is it based in passion for ourselves, and then understanding, how we can still feel that sense of independence around moving towards this star and working from our passion, but where we can actually allow that to still join with another. So this can be, again, in a romantic relationship, or this could be, let's say, in a work relationship. This could be where you are pushing so much your perspective in a work environment, and realizing that no, everybody has their own perspective, and that's the beauty of what makes a workplace, a team work well together, is that everybody has their own perspective. Everybody has their own why for showing up to work every day, and that should not take away from your why, and you should not take away that from another. So again, independence, that feeling of autonomy, that feeling of independence, it doesn't have to be tied directly to you only experiencing your star and your passion. It's that everybody gets to experience it together. And that's what really, that connection, and actually what we don't realize a lot of times is that when we connect from that place of passion, when we share what our star is, what our hope is, the why behind what we're doing, and we share that with others, that connection is what heightens us. It's what heightens our ability to experience our spiritual purpose, because we get a chance then to hear it and see it and actually experience it in contrast with others' spiritual purposes, which are different from ours. Now, for the Queen of Wands, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the King of Wands and the Six of Cups. So there is this quality here of, so the Knight of Pentacles is a card of Virgo, and we're actually moving into Virgo season right now, late August into September. But there's this quality with Virgo of kind of step by step. This is the planning. This is the planning in the real world of, okay, I take one step here and then I have another one lined up and I'm working towards the bigger picture. You can kind of see that here. Now, the Queen of Wands is generally not somebody who's going to be stepping into this energy. She's more about kind of, I'm going to do what I want to do from this place of passion. She's not going to be, I mean, granted, she is a queen, so she is ruling over a kingdom. She has been able to go quite a ways in her abilities and working with her passions. But there's this element now of making, I get this feeling of taking measured steps, because I get this feeling here with the King of Wands and the Six of Cups, that this is actually a different person from you. That this is you starting to take tangible steps based from a place of passion. And then we have this other person who's here with you, who is the King of Cups, who is actually your partner. They mirror you. And that this is possibly somebody, so the Six of Cups is either, this can be somebody from the past coming back. This can be also kind of the element of nostalgia around this person. That this person almost brings you back to, some aspect of self from the past. Because the Six of Cups is that kind of, it's almost like going back to your past self and being given a gift, remembering some kind of long lost emotional connection to something. And so there's this element of kind of going back and tapping into that feeling, tapping into that, oh yeah, that's what I loved to do then. Or I see myself at that time in a new light. And it's tied to this person, it's tied to this individual who's helping me reconnect with that. And I think what's beautiful about that is that if you can step into this energy and really not get tied up in, Virgo can be somewhat of a perfectionist energy as well. And that sometimes this can be such a slow moving energy because the person here, this knight, wants to get every piece of the puzzle in the right place. And it's very slow, very methodical. Where the Queen of Wands is not going to be, again, slow and methodical. She's going to say, well, this is what I'm excited about, and I'm going to just make it happen. But there's this element here of building with this other individual, building towards something that you know is part of what maybe you've always wanted to do, that feeling of going back to when you were a child and the dream that you had, the dream that's related to your star. And it's beautiful energy, but I think where you're kind of fighting is like you almost feel like you're hindered a little bit. You feel like you're being held back by this planning energy of like wanting to almost over control, working from a place of passion. And here, this other person you're working with, now again, this can be your significant other, this can be in the workplace, this can be a family member, but somebody is coming in who is helping remind you of that connection to your star and helping you to realize that they are equal to you. They are your equal. and that they want very much to achieve what you want to achieve. They want to be a part of this. But you are going to have to kind of give in a little bit. You're going to have to realize that you can align your stars together. And it's going to bring you guys back to something beautiful here. This kind of innocent, nostalgic energy. And don't try to over control. You can plan together, but don't over control. Don't get lost in the details. Instead, enjoy the passion. I don't know if you guys can hear. My daughter is fussing in the next room. But you guys have, I think, a really wonderful person in your life right now who is your equal, who is wanting to be there side by side with you, and to remind you that it's not there to rob you of your independence. It's there to help you build from a place of passion. All right, we're going to pull a final card here for the principle of contemplation. So we're going to see what we can kind of meditate on. Just one additional message for this reading for the energy of love for our Geminis. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. Well, this goes right into this reading. So we have building blocks. Number 28, breaking down to a 10, breaking down to a 1. But that's really what I'm getting here, is that there's this element of that you're building towards something. And it's based on a change. It is based on either you, again, combining your lifestyles with another, or possibly, joining a team at work, or, maybe rebuilding. I mean, this could even be something where, again, maybe you're having to move back home with your parents and are having to rebuild. But there is this quality of building. So even if you're having to rebuild, it's not a negative thing. It's not robbing you of this independence. It's actually allowing you to continue to build on yourself, to build from this place of your star, and to really tap into this connection between you and somebody else who is your equal right now, somebody else who's going to help elevate your abilities to work with your passions, because they're going to be doing the same thing. And there is this element of building, plotting, again, not getting lost in the details, but instead really seeing the bigger picture and being able to realize that we can release stigmas. It might be that perhaps you've been working autonomously at work and suddenly you're asked to join a team. Well, that doesn't mean that that's because you weren't, that you weren't working great on your own. It's that maybe now your expertise can help guide the team. Or now, moving back home with your parents, it might sound, less than wonderful to say, yeah, I live at home with my parents. But in reality, you can look at it in the opposite way of saying, but it's allowing me to rebuild, to start to build fresh, to allow me to tap into my passions and be able to take action from them again, because I haven't been able to up to this point. Maybe I have had financial constraints. Maybe I was in a negative or bad relationship up to this point, and now I just need the time to kind of regroup. But there's something here where it's telling me very specifically that there's somebody in your life that is your counterpart, and that's going to be there to support you and help you get back into this energy and rebuild. Rebuild something grander for yourself, something that's based in passion, something that is based on your hope and dream, but also of which is going to be shared with another. And again, whether this is work or interpersonal or a significant romantic partnership, or even family, because this card can actually even signify going back home, literally, that you're going back home to kind of receive that emotional support again. Very interesting reading, Gemini. I think, just keep in mind, you have an equal. There's somebody out there who's supporting you, who wants to be there. You're going to have to make yourself vulnerable to allow them to do that. But it's going to be beautiful, because what it's going to help you do is be able to see and tap back into perhaps a part of your unique, authentic self you have hid for so long that you've forgotten about. And you've forgotten about how wonderful it is, that gift of yourself. And that's going to be seen through the eyes of another. Beautiful. Beautiful reading, Gemini. All right, I hope you have a fantastic August, moving into September. If you'd like to book a personal tarot reading or a one-on-one coaching session, the link to my website is in the description box below. And I hope you get a chance to check out your other August readings as well as your readings in September. Bye, Gemini.